What's up, everyone? I'm back from my hiatus and I finally got my hands on a motorcycle I've been wanting to talk about for almost 6 months. So stay tuned. How's it going today, folks? My name is Peoplz and welcome back to my motorcycle channel. Now, if this is your first time here and you love motorcycles as much as I do and my subscribers do, or you just want to learn a little bit more about motorcycles in general and the motorcycle culture, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button down there. And while you're at it, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any episodes. Today, I'm going to tell you about a motorcycle I have been dying to get my hands on for almost 6 months. This is the 2022 Harley Davidson Lowrider ST. Okay, now that you've had a good look at this motorcycle, let me tell you a little bit more about what's underneath this pretty face so you see the beauty is more than just skin. I mean sheet metal deep. This right here is an evolution of the Lowrider family. First you had the Lowrider, then you had the Lowrider S, which I told you about in a previous video, and now you have the touring version of that motorcycle. This is the Lowrider ST with the removable bags, cruise control, and the fairing, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that in detail a little bit later on the video. This is based off Harley Davidson's new generation softtail frame design, which is a radical departure from the previous generation. First off, this frame is 35 pounds less than the previous generation, like I've told you in other videos. It's also a stiffer frame and allows this bike to ride and handle tenfold better than I think the previous generation softtails, which were great bikes in themselves, but I think, like I said, this bike rides and handles way better than their best model. It is a mild steel tubular frame design that is a monoshock, which in itself is a radical departure from the previous generation softtail frames. The previous generation, the rear shocks ran under the bike. This monoshock attaches to the top of the swing arm, runs underneath the seat, and attaches to ride under the tank. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that and show you a little bit more about that too later on in the video when I tell you all about the great suspension on this motorcycle. But one of the things I want to touch off right away is just the heart of this motorcycle, this massive 117 cubic inch beast right here. Now at the heart of this motorcycle, like I said, this is the biggest engine that Harley Davidson puts in a production motorcycle. It's their world famous 117 cubic inch Milwaukee 8 engine. It's a single cam overhead valve design which features 4 valves, 2 exhaust and 2 intake, and 2 spark plugs at the center of the combustion palace. And it produces a little over 125 pound-feet of torque right at 3,500 RPMs. And with this 6-speed transmission here, it gets this little motorcycle that only weighs 721 pounds just rocketing from 0 to 60 in less than 4 seconds. It's like I said, it's an absolute beast. Now, as you can see, Harley Davidson is keeping up its commitment and its emphasis on power and performance this year. I mean, I've been echoing that for the last couple of videos, but you know, don't take my word for it. Go back and check them out, everything. Why else would they put the biggest production motor in one of their littlest frames? They want this thing to be powerful, they want it to be fun, they want it to be light, they want you to get out there in the back roads and rip it or car up the canyons on it. But keep this in mind. This is the touring version of the Lowrider, so Harley Davidson wants you to feel comfortable in ground pounding across the states or whatever country you're watching this video in right now. So let me tell you how they accomplish both of those tasks. Up front, you have these massive 49mm cartridge style inverted forks, which are fully adjustable. And in the rear, we had their state-of-the-art preload adjustable monoshock. And it's been lengthened to give you 56mm of total wheel travel, which is gonna in turn give you another 1.3 degrees of lane angle. And that's gonna make a difference when you're on them back twisty roads. Now, so far we've talked about how beautiful this bike is, the way it rides, the way it handles, how comfortable it is, and just absolutely how powerful this motorcycle is. But you know, you got to be able to stop this thing. So let me tell you a little bit about that. As you can see, Harley has fitted this bike with these twin 4-piston brake calipers, and they've made it to these massive 300mm brake rotors. And in the rear, you have this huge 292mm brake rotor, and it's mated to the single dual piston brake caliper. So what do you think, folks? Me, I think it's a great bike, and I can understand why people are waiting in line to get this bike and put it on order and waiting anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. This is a bike, I think it offers, you know, something to riders all up and down the spectrum. You have younger sport bike guys that are just now, you know, wandering into the cruiser market. You had the guys that had big dressers and everything like that, but they, you know, they ride to work, the store and everything like that. And then you got your guys, like I said, that want to ride across the country. This bike has something to offer all those riders and everyone in between. With the younger sport bike guys, you know, they're used to riding a bike and being a little bit more aggressive. And they pay real good attention to the way the bike handles and rides and everything. And this bike is gonna give them what they need. You've got this massive 117 cubic inch motor, and you've got this inverted sport bike style suspension, and the front rear suspension is completely adjustable. So this bike is gonna ride and it's gonna handle in the way that they're looking for. So, you know, when you wanna get back out on the canyons and the back roads and the twisties, this bike is gonna perform and not leave you wanting. As far as the guys that have been, you know, with the big baggers and the cruisers, they want something that they can still ride back and forth to work and just around town and still do some shopping, going to the store, going to the grocery store, and still have the utilitarian aspect of it. This bike has that to offer with the saddlebags and everything. And then you got the guys that want to ride across country. This bike is going to do that as well. Like I said, you've got the fairing, you've got the saddlebags, the lock-up saddlebags, and when you add the Rockford Fosgate stereo system, you do have your music. So, like I said, it's got something to offer everybody. But, you know, now if you're lucky enough to live by a dealership that actually has one and you are motorcycle endorsed, I invite you to go to the dealership and take it for a test ride and check it out itself. You know, because riding is believing. I can tell you it's the greatest thing in the world, but it's the greatest thing in the world to you. And when you ride this bike, you will, you know, you will check that out. But before I go, I do want to thank St. Charles Harley Davidson, Brad and Rich for, you know, allowing me to, you know, talk about this beautiful motorcycle and use their facilities. Because without them, this would be really, really, really hard to do. So, like I said, I do want to give a big thank you to them. And also, you know, to invite you to check out my website. I've got merch just dropped and t-shirts and everything. So I'm going to put the link to St. Charles Harley Davidson and the link to my website in the description. So check that out and check us out. Like I said, so if you did enjoy this video, I'm inviting you to hit that subscribe button right there. Give me a, you know, a thumbs up like. That would really help me with the algorithm. and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. So the sun's out, it's still beautiful, so I'm getting ready to go home, get on my motorcycle, and hit a couple corners. So until then, let's ride again.